Hey guys, so today we're doing a video on Instant Influencer. It is actually the finale of Instant Influencer and I think it's really exciting, so we're going to talk about that. But before we get into it, just, a few updates since you guys are here. Instagram, Twitter, I changed my handle on there, by the way, so if you remember the last handle, that's not current anymore, and that's because someone actually shouted at me and told me that bad for branding to have 3 different names on all your different platforms because then people can't find you without going into your links. So apparently it's much better to have everything be the same name. So now everything's the same name. I hope everyone's happy with that. So all of that will be in the description down below, including my main channel, as you guys probably know. And if you don't know, this isn't my main channel, this is my second channel. Main channel in description. But also, I think I just found out that I wasted £150. So I used to have this mic that I used to film on until about a year ago when this mic apparently stopped working. I was wondering why it stopped working. So I bought myself a second one that I'm filming on right now. And turns out that it's because I'm recording my audio on Audacity, and MacBook recently went through a software update which apparently ruined the way Audacity works, because it was something to do with the licensing. I just was not made aware of that, and now there is like this roundabout way to allow your laptop to record through Audacity, and now I don't even want to try to do it with this, because if it works with this mic, then that means I now have 2 identical mics for no reason. And matter of fact is, I already opened this mic, so now I can't send it back because the box is damaged. I don't know if I even want to try, because I'm just gonna upset myself, and that's not what I'm about these days. Good vibes only, baby. So today we're talking about Instant Influencer. Like I said, what's happening is I'm gonna go through all my notes that I made regarding the last episode, and we're gonna get through it. I think this will be the shortest episode. Well, I think this will be the shortest video because I don't have that much to say, mainly because with every episode there are less contestants, so there's less looks to talk about, less drama to talk about, less stuff to talk about, They basically at the start do a recap of everything that happened so far, and they basically go through who left, who stayed, who won what task. Ashley won the most challenges, I'm pretty sure. There was no mini challenge this time because they didn't want to give an advantage for the main challenge, which is quite fair. All the other 3 episodes, if you won the mini challenge, was usually about 5 minutes of the episode. You were given an advantage for the main challenge. It was either extra time or some help from one of the judges, or you get to pick your products first, so on and so forth. Well, that was it. That was all the 3 mini challenges. I don't know why I said so on and so forth, as if there was more episodes and more mini challenges. There was only 3. But this time they said that there was going to be no mini challenge and no advantage, so everyone is starting out on an even playing field, because at the end of the day, it is the finale. Their main challenge is what I thought was probably one of the best, no, it was the best main challenge they had so far. It was to create a viral trend, which is what people do all the time. I mean, if you go on Instagram, you go on YouTube, there are constant trends, whether that's in beauty, gaming. There are obviously things that are currently trending and people want to do. With makeup, it's a little bit different. People start a makeup trend and then people either copy it directly and try to recreate it essentially, or they add their own spin to it, and then the trend becomes a whole different thing, because then it gets changed so many times that at that point it just becomes its own thing, its own creation, and it's so beautiful to watch. There were definitely weaker looks in this challenge, and I'm going to get into why I think that is. So they had 3 hours to create the look, and then 30 minutes with a professional photographer to do a photo as the final piece to show to the judges. They have this moment to plan out their look, and Benny says that he's had this look that he's been sitting on for a while and he just wants to do it now. And he says it will be basically a bunny look with black mask with black ears, almost like exactly like the Ariana Grande look that she had for Dangerous Woman, except instead of a face, it will be the face of a bunny. So it'll be like a bunny on top of a bunny. And I didn't really understand why that would be a viral trend. Ashley is doing an off-white inspired look because she's saying, if we think about trends, trends in fashion and trends in makeup can intersect each other and they can be one and the same. So she basically thought of what is trendy right now, off-white, and what is also simple and minimalistic and kind of easy to do, off-white. So she went with an off-white makeup look, which I thought was super smart, but I'm going to get into the little tweaks that she could have made. And Kaylin was doing an insecurity versus confidence thing, so she would write under this eye a lot of things that people call her that are her insecurities, and then on the right it would be things that she is now confident about, and then she would do elaborate makeup looks to do with each of those things. James Charles did this thing where he would hear their ideas out before they start doing the makeup look, just to kind of give them some advice and let them know if that idea is something that he would consider a viral trend, or the possibility of becoming a viral trend. So he speaks to Kaylin, and she spelt naive wrong, she spelt Neve, which is snow in Spanish, allegedly. You learn something new every day. So he changed that, but overall he was really a big fan of that trend, and I think those trends have happened before. It wasn't like the most original idea, but it's definitely something other people could copy. But also because of the simplistic nature of that look at me throwing words out there, you can take the word idea but then change everything else and make it your own. I'm still not sure who should have won. Obviously, spoiler alert, I am going to tell you guys who won, and I'm going to address that throughout the video. So if you haven't seen the episode, click out, watch the episode, come back. But I'm going to be addressing who won. So Ashley won, but I'm not sure, because I mean, if you look at this challenge, yes, Ashley's look was incredible, but there's only so much you can do with an off-white trend. Like, everyone's going to basically look the same. It's going to be brow, cheek, nose. With Kaylin's trend, it can be more individual and more personalized, because the person can basically write whatever words they want, and they don't have to do the same eye look as she did, but it will be like a similar vibe. But then again, this wasn't the most original idea, whereas Ashley's was super original. I haven't seen anyone do an off-white look before. Yeah, so James Charles talks to Ashley, everything's fine. He talks to Kaylin, everything's fine. But then when he talks to Benny, he tells him that he's not sure about this trend, because this trend is supposed to mean something to you and have some kind of a reason to be a trend. And Benny decides to stick with it, even though James, as one of the judges, like, James is one of the 3 judges that will be judging your makeup look, and he says, hey, I don't think this will work out, and you continue to do it. Like, I get Benny is super young, but when someone literally hands you an answer who is going to be judging your makeup, maybe, just maybe, go with it. I think that was a huge mistake. So what I thought about the looks. Benny's look was this bunny look. I think he didn't have enough time to do it, which is going to link me onto my next point. But because he didn't have enough time to do it, it was a little bit sloppy. For example, the ears peeling off by the end of, him being judged. The floss was a little bit uneven in places. I don't know, I just think it looked a little bit sloppy. It was a very creative idea, but then that brings me on to the next point. If in 3 hours he couldn't make it look not sloppy, then obviously not many people will want to copy the look, because not many people want to spend 5 hours on a look. But also, most people don't have that kind of talent and also most of the equipment to make that kind of look happen. So I think he should have really, really dumbed it down, made it more simple, because a trend is supposed to be simple, because the more simple the original idea, the more people can build on top of it. Whereas if you already start with a 5-hour super special effects makeup look, there's really not much people can add on without it being way too complicated, and it's already too complicated. That's where I was on that idea, and I wish he had listened to James Charles, because James Charles has been in enough trends to know what they usually look like. So I just wish that he had listened to James Charles. It was such great advice, and it definitely lost him in the end. Overall, I don't think the look was amazing. I think Benny is a much better artist than he showed in the finale, and the finale obviously is the most stressful episode of the series, so everyone's going to be a little bit more sloppy. But I just think this wasn't the best look. It wasn't the most polished, because he just did not have enough time, because it was a much too complicated look for what it was supposed to be. Ashley did things that were on trend. People are more likely to copy something if it's already trendy and popular. There were a few things missing, so there was some need for touch-ups, and I think she's usually one of those people that perfects everything. Everything is tip top. So it was very strange this one time she didn't perfect everything, but it is a finale and people are stressed out, and she was probably a ball of nerves. For example, she had one eyebrow blacked out, and she wrote brows with an S when you're only covering one brow, so she should have said brow. And then she wrote eyes under the eye when it was supposed to be an eye, or something along those lines. So one of them was a plural, one of them was a singular, or both of them were plural, but they were supposed to be a singular. Something along those lines. I haven't seen the look in a while since I last watched it and took notes. But also, I think the cheek writing didn't have quotation marks on it, but the rest did. The whole point with Off-White is there's supposed to be quotation marks around them pointing out the obvious. So they usually sell a handbag that says handbag and it will have quotation marks around it. That's kind of the whole thing. But then there were some details that I never would have thought of. For example, she stood against a white wall and then she put 2 black tapes to do quotation marks around herself. Yes. I wish the ruler was a little too much. I wish she had just stayed really straight on with the 2 quotation marks and the quotation marks all over herself, and it would have been perfect. Oh my god. And it's something that people can recreate, so easily. Even if they don't have a white wall to put black tape on, even without that, they can still copy all of this. She also put some kind of a white paint on her face, and she should have really dragged out her ear, but she didn't. So her ear was the same shade as her skin on the other side. Then Kaylin. So Norvina actually gave incredible advice about the pose that I didn't even think of. So when Kaylin was taking the picture, she put the crown tilting more on the side where she had the good things about herself. So like the crown queen side is like the confident side and the insecurity side has no crown. But when she took the picture, she turned almost like diagonally, and then this side was the side with the insecurities. So it was almost like in the picture the insecurities are taking the focal point, when the whole idea of this picture was supposed to be that the confident side is now the focal point and we're leaving this behind. Do you see the genius of Norvina? She was like, we're leaving the insecurities behind. But I guess that's the whole point of the show, is to like give them advice, like actual workable, real advice. It's just advice that you wouldn't receive otherwise, because you are not in touch with all these people that are professionals in the field that you want to work in. Do you know what I mean? It's like chef's kiss. Wow, Norvina, really. This was like that one advice where I was like, wow. But overall, I loved her look. It was probably the main look. Like if I was to recreate one of those looks, I would definitely recreate Kaylin's look. I would have had a really, really, really tough time deciding between Kaylin and Ashley. I'm gonna be honest. Like they really had a tough call. Benny's, when he was taking the picture, he did the whole like bunny thing and it just screamed Easter to me. And that's not like a trend. It's more like a Halloween costume or an Easter thing. Like there was no deeper meaning behind the trend. And if there's no meaning behind a trend, less people are likely to copy it, because they're like, what's the point of this? Why am I doing this? Why am I painting my face into a bunny? Like, what is the meaning behind this? I wish he had maybe done something like him under a mask instead of a bunny, because like Benny is not a bunny, Benny is Benny. So I wish he had done something about him revealing a mask or something. But then he posed in like and then when he was coming up to the judges, he did like a bunny hop, and I was like, I get it, it's a bunny, but why? Not that I'm like piling on him, but I'm just like wondering what was the like motivation behind this look. And that's kind of like my point. Yeah, when we get to the judges, we realize and we find out that the guest judge this week is Mario, who is a celebrity makeup artist, most famously known as the makeup artist behind Kim Kardashian. He has collaborated with her on multiple of her makeup products, while also collaborating with Anastasia Beverly Hills on one of their most iconic and one of the first makeup palettes they've released. Benny's is the least liked by the judges, I guess. So he starts crying on stage because it's very emotional. It's the finale, and they are basically just saying like it's a little bit sloppy and it has no meaning behind it, which is basically just their criticism. Kaylin comes out and Norvina says the iconic, leave the insecurities behind, posing to the front. I was like, wow. And she goes into her family past and why she is as, insecure as she is. She comes from a family of bad things. Clearly had a very tough childhood. She's now kind of growing into her own and becoming her own person, and she's now kind of gaining more confidence. And I think this show probably had a lot to play in that. I think she's only realized by episode 4 that she was picked to be in this show, and then she got into the finale of this show. Like, she's clearly really good at what she's doing. So I think by now she should realize that like this whole insecurity thing, she needs to leave it behind, because she's too good for that. She's too good to be that insecure. And I think that's exactly what this look was. And it had meaning behind it. It had a personal touch, and it can have a personal touch for many people. And I think that's why I think I would have picked Kaylin, even though I love Ashley as well. And then they see Ashley's look and they say, it's stunning, it's great. And then they do point out the slight imperfections and like things that just need a little bit more touching up. Maybe if she had like an extra half an hour, she would have definitely, done all of those. They go back and Ashley wins. She's crying, she's happy, everyone's happy for her, and they go to do the sign off, and she, she'll be the one that gets the collab. She's the one that gets the $10,000 setup that James Charles uses to film his videos, and then she'll also get a $50,000 prize, which I think is incredible. It will definitely like kickstart her career heavily. And I hope, I want to go back to these people by the next show. Like if Instant Influencer gets a season 2, I'll hopefully be doing a commentary of it again. But I want to kind of just go back to how the other people are doing, and just to see like the effects of season 1 of Instant Influencer on these people. Like, was this just like a short-lived 1 month long career because everyone was just curious? Because sometimes that happens. My overall thoughts on the whole show, they had incredible judges every single time. Every episode, they had incredible judges. So first of all, the 2 main judges on every single episode were James Charles and Norvina. Norvina ABH, the ABH Norvina. Like, that's incredible in its own right. Like, even if I had like less incredible guest judges, like the fact that he can consistently have him and Norvina judging looks every episode, impressive. And the guest judges were Paris Hilton, first episode, iconic. The second episode was Trixie. Third episode was Lipstick Nick, and the fourth episode was Mario. So I'm just wondering, like, these are incredible guest judges, incredible just main judges. The contestants he picked were great. They were, they had nice personalities. They didn't seem fake or disingenuous. They were all talented. They were all just sweethearts, and I think he did really well for his first season. One thing I wish was that there were more episodes and more contestants. I wish he had started with maybe double the contestants and did double the episodes, like 8 episodes, because that would have lasted like roughly a month and a half. I think it would have like built up the tension as well, because what I found with this season was that it was very easy from pretty much the first episode to guess who would be in the finale. At least like top 2, I was sure. Like I knew who was in top 2. I said in my first, it's going to be Kaylin and Ashley. And who was it? Kaylin and Ashley. And then it was Benny. For me, it was between Benny and Indigo, who was going to be in the top 3. So that's pretty much played out how I said it would. Genius. But it was very easy to kind of guess who would be in the finale, and that kind of takes away from the tension and the excitement. So I think if there were like double the contestants and double the episodes, it adds a little extra tension right up until the end. You're not really going to be that sure who's going to be in the finale. So I wish it was longer, because I'm greedy. I hope he gets renewed for season 2. I think this did super well. I'm pretty sure James Charles said they were like beating records every episode, and all the episodes are above like 6 million views, I'm pretty sure. It was an incredible production, like incredible production. It was also for free. I just want season 2. I want to see how this plays out, if Susan allows a season 2 or maybe even a season 3. I think this opens many doors to for YouTubers. I think James Charles is, you know, whatever you think about him, he's always the one that's like breaking the boundaries down between YouTube and mainstream. I mean, he obviously had this reality show now, incredible budget, it did super well. He had that meet and greet with Morphe in England, I think it was in Birmingham, where like the roads were shut. Like you basically just couldn't get anywhere for 3 hours because that's how many people were there. He's just doing so many things. He got invited to the Met Gala. He's definitely blurring the line between influencer and celebrity. Anyway, I thought it was a great show, as you can probably tell. And I can't wait until I can review these episodes again. Like, please give me more content, James. I just really enjoyed this. It was like such a chill thing to just sit down and talk about what's happening in beauty. Yeah, I think this is a great step for the beauty industry, and it's definitely giving a platform to smaller influencers that would have struggled to make it out there because it's such a, you know, saturated market right now. That this was just such a great opportunity for them, all of them, even if they were just there for one episode. It's just such a great opportunity for them. And then for Ashley to have such a great setup and get so much money and then be able to have a collab with James Charles. Incredible. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, anything, comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time I think of something to do. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you don't, then just subscribe and hit that bell and you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links and main channel in description, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.